invites. People coming into the webinar. Hey, we are live. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for being here. Hey, when you're jumping in, is the chat enabled? Let me see. Can you let me know if the chat's enabled, Jake? Yes. Oh, okay, good. If you're coming in here to the webinar, drop in the chat where you guys are from. We just like to know where people are tuning in from. Tampa,
Ooh,
Prescott,
Prescott.
Arizona,
Nice.
Richmond, Reno, Florida, awesome, Sarasota. Sweet. I love it.
Cool.
I love it. All over the place. All over the place. Cool. Let's get started. So I'm Nick Baldwin, co-founder of Lab Coat Agents. And today we're talking about out of the box lead sourcing, creative strategies that can fill your pipeline as the interest rates are increasing and people are getting nervous to buy and or sell. And it can be challenging given the market conditions, but it is not impossible. So today we have Brady Mosk, who is senior manager inside sales and affiliates at Chime. We also have Brett Baker, real estate coach. And I'm going to hand it over to you guys, and I'm going to hang out and chime in on the conversation, and we'll take it from there. So Brady, what's going on? And talk about Brett, because I know that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the introduction, Nick, and thank you for making this platform available to everyone. We're really excited to be here. We've got some good topics to cover today in what is proving to be a very non-traditional market, right? If you look at the last 5 years, 10 years, I mean, flashing all the way back to 2008, 2009, these are historic times. So how do we make sense of it? How do we continue to drive business our way? How do we convert more deals, right? And I think a really, really excellent person to have on this webinar today is none other than Mr. Brett Baker. Brett has scaled businesses before. He's gone through successful exits before. He's lived all around the country and done real estate in over half the states at least, I'm sure, right, Brett?
Yeah.
The guy knows the market and he knows how to differentiate himself, and he's got some really good tools and talk tracks available for everyone. So with that, let me introduce Brett Baker. And Brett, thank you for jumping in with this as well today.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's good to be here. It is an interesting market, but it's I don't know. I like this market enough that, when Nick, when you introduced me, I was a real estate coach for a long time. I actually shut my coaching company down to actually get back into residential real estate sales because I missed it so much. And really, the truth is, I had a 5-year non-compete. My non-compete expired. My wife goes, "You didn't get back in and do real estate again?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "It's kind of a weird time." I'm like, yeah, whatever. She goes, "No, like everybody's like really upset about the market right now. Like, are you paying attention?" I'm like, yeah. She's like, "You're insane." So we did. We are about to launch our company here on November 1st up here in Anchorage, Alaska. But it's been a weird time. I want to go over today a few things, and I want to back this with actual data. Okay, so I'm going to talk about lead strategies. I'm going to talk about lead follow-up strategies. But I want to start this off so that people don't think that I'm just like a real estate coach that doesn't actually do anything, right? So like I said, we're starting our real estate company up here, a team in Anchorage on November 1st. But a couple of weeks ago, I actually met up with a lender, and that led to me launching a little bit earlier than I was planning. But let me dive into this, right? So most people that are on this call right now have a sphere and a database where they live, right? So I want to set the stage here. I don't have that. I moved up here to Anchorage about 2 years ago. I had no desire really to do residential real estate at the time. I'm here to fly. I'm a pilot, a helicopter pilot, fixed wing pilot. I just love being here. And so I didn't really actually intend on doing this. So I don't really have any real estate connections up here. I don't have a sphere. I don't have a database. I had to start from scratch. And so I want to also clarify, I've had my license up here for 30 days. And I actually, like I said, I launch fully in about 2 weeks. So at this time, I have no social media running. I have no ads running, and I'm not promoting myself in any way, shape, or form. Okay. All of that starts on November 1st. I want to clarify all of that so that people are like, "But you have this huge database." I don't. So a couple of weeks ago, I met up with a lender friend, and he told me that he had like an entire database of leads that were interested at one point in buying, but fell off the map when they didn't find a home. They got discouraged, they gave up, that kind of stuff. I asked him how many leads that he thought he had, and he goes, I don't know, man, thousands? Like, you have thousands of leads just sitting there. He's like, yeah. And he goes, so I'm like, what? How did you get these? He's like, well, I generated those leads. He used to do PPC, and he would hand those leads off to real estate agents. So he generated the leads. And so, I dug a little deeper. How old are they? What kind of stuff do you have in there? 6 months to a year is basically how old these things were. And then he asked what I was going to do with them. And I kind of looked at him. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm going to call all of them. And he's like, you're going to call a whole bunch of dead leads. I said, yes, I am. And so he literally sent me the CSV file. And over the course of 6 days, I personally called 1,764 leads. I didn't hire it out. I didn't have an ISA. I didn't 3-line dial it. I didn't voicemail drop. I didn't auto text. There were no smart plans. I picked up the phone and I called every single one of them. And so what I'm going to tell you right now is that 866 had no interest in talking to me at all. Boy, that was let me tell you, those were tough. But 621 of those are now in my database on a property drip. All of them said that they had given up because the market was too hot and they couldn't get what they wanted. None of them were working with an agent. So those 621 are back working with the lender that gave those leads to me, and they're all working on a pre-approval. 216 of those bought a house, condo, land, or whatever. So they had already bought. So that kind of sucked. 61 of them are actively looking to buy within the next 3 months, and they are now fully pre-approved with that same lender. They're ready to go as soon as the right house pops up. And over the last 9 days, I've had 52 showings, 12 offers, and 9 people that I'm showing actually have to sell their home before they buy. So I have 9 promises to list. Now, what has been absolutely crazy out of that, though, is that of those 621 leads that are in my database, 94 of them are now in another state looking to buy in that state. So I've set them up with referrals in those states. And as of my update this morning, 13 are now under contract. Mind you, this was a list that I got just because I asked for it. So my lender made a bet with me. It was $2,000. He owes me $2,000 because he made a bet that I wouldn't get any business out of this, which is kind of the icing on the cake, if you ask me. But 61 active buyers that are ready to go. And I have 22 buyer agency agreements signed. So I have the potential right now that is out there. We're under contract on several of them right now. We're waiting for some stuff to get signed around. But right now, as of the potential right now, $2.8 million of sales in less than a week off leads I didn't pay for. So sorry to go on like a rampage there, but I wanted to throw data at this situation.
Brett, you know where my head goes when you tell that story, right? As soon as I hear a CSV file and jumping in and making thousands of cold calls, right?
Yeah.
Where my head goes is these leads probably are in someone else's database as well. It's not like these people are just living exclusively waiting for you to call. So walk me through what you've done to differentiate yourself. Why do people engage with Brett? What kind of tools that are you using to paint this picture to get people to engage with you as frequently as they are?
So it's kind of funny because when I first started calling these, my wife kind of looked over my shoulder. By the way, she's an active agent in like 3 states. So she's of course like looking over my shoulder like, man, your scripts suck. I'm like, what? Come on. She's like, do you have a script? I'm like, no, I'm just asking them questions. And she's like, wait, you're literally like, I kid you not, someone just put a question in there like, well, how are you getting your phone number to pop up? This is what I'm using. This is how I'm dialing all those numbers. I'm literally using my iPhone. Okay. So what am I doing to get them to talk to me? I'm listening to them. I basically have said, hey, I got your information from this person. Obviously you had reached out at one point about a mortgage. I'm a real estate agent in the area. I'm just reaching out to see what happened. The market has become a little bit better for buyers. Sure, interest rates are a little high right now, but from my understanding, when you guys exited the market, you did so because you'd written, you wanted to buy a house, but you hadn't done anything because the market was too hot. And that you just listen to what they have to say, and then meet their concerns and actually care. I know that's shocking, but care what they have to say. And so there were some long phone calls. There were some very short phone calls. I got told to F off a lot.
Wow. Yep.
A lot. But you just don't take it personally. And the ones that you can help, they're appreciative, because a lot of agents didn't want to give them the time of day to be heard. And so the people that I'm working with now, they genuinely like working with me, because I took the time to listen to their concerns, meet their concerns, and then help them, give them a path forward. But just remember, guys, like, most people have a database. Like, you don't have to go out and find these leads somewhere. I would be willing to bet that a lot of agents, if they would just go through their database, they would have a lot of business already sitting in there. If you take the time to listen to your leads, they will tell you a lot. Now, the downside of that is a lot of people use automation. Now, I love automation. Brady, you know how much I love automation. Automation is kind of my jam. So when my friends found out that I wasn't using automation to follow up with people, like, you're not voicemail dropping people? No. You're not auto texting them? No. I'm like, I have all those features, but I had a feeling that they'd already had that happen to them. One response I got a lot was, wait, you're local in the market? Like, you actually, and they would ask me questions about the market. It's like, yeah, I'm literally sitting in it right now. You want to see a picture of where I am? Because they were used to getting someone that wasn't in the market. They were used to overseas ISAs. And so I wasn't that. And it was kind of a refreshing change for them. So I would bet that if you are an agent right now and you have a database, you may not have thousands of leads in there, but I bet you have enough in there to call everybody. Go reach in there, start there, go through your database, call all your leads. Don't text them, don't voicemail drop them, call them and have a real conversation. So how do we manage that? Right? So that's a lot of leads, right? Now, not everyone's going to pick up the phone and call 1,700 people. They just aren't. But now that we have the numbers thrown out there, how do we keep track of that? Because that is also important. So my big thing that I focus on when I talk to leads, especially buyers, is I try really, really hard to focus on one important thing: their property search, right? How do we keep people from going to Zillow? How do we keep people from going to realtor.com? How do we get people coming back to our website and trusting us for data? We give them exactly what they're looking for. So I focus very, very heavily on their property search. I want to know bedrooms, bathrooms, time frame. I want to know what they're thinking about spending. I want to know what their rent payment is right now, so I can help them create their budget so that when they talk to a lender, they know this information. I focus very heavily on that. From there, I sort those into 5 pipelines. And I'm not going to cover this in too much detail, because I'm going to give like an entire free training course away. It's 12 days of Chime. It tells you basically how I do everything that I'm doing. I'll talk about that here in a minute.
Well,
But
I do want to say
sort
one thing, because the one thing I learned from what you're saying is all this took was 6 days of work.
Yeah. And a lot of showings.
Well, right. But my point is, like, to get the customers.
Yeah. 6 days.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at it that way,
yeah,
it didn't take you that long to acquire that business.
No. And the Nick, the cool part about that is it was 6 days of, dude, it was mind-numbing work. Like, I would be lying to you if I said that I want to go do that every day, right? But for 6 days to fill that pipeline up, that's pretty hard to complain about. So yeah, no, that is a valid point. Actually, since you brought that up, now it makes me feel a lot better about those 6 days. Those 6 days, gonna tell you, the tequila flowed nicely that night.
It took 6 hellish days.
Oh, dude, it was freaking brutal. If I told you any different, I'd be lying to you. It was brutal. But you look at it now and it's like, okay, look at what I just did to my business, and I haven't even launched yet. And so there's a lot of doom and gloom out there right now. There's a lot of negativity in the marketplace right now. There's a lot of agents that are really distracted right now. And the truth is, instead of being distracted and focusing on the noise, focus in your database now more than ever. is a time to be focusing on your database. Since I didn't have a database, I had to rapidly create a database. Now, there are ways, and we can talk about those here in a few minutes, where maybe you don't have a big database. Maybe you need a bigger database. We were going to talk about that here in a few, about really easy ways and free ways to get a bunch of leads where you're not spending a bunch of money. Because I know right now, agents are feeling the burn, right? They're tightening up their budgets. And so we're going to talk about that here in a second. What I do want to talk about is I want to talk about quickly a little bit of follow-up, because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions, and I'm looking at the chat. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions on how do you follow up with 621 leads that you picked up in like 6 days, right? And so I use Chime, I use my pipelines in there, and I'll give you guys a link to my free training on how to do that. But I focus on 2 main places in my CRM. And the one is the listing discovery tool. And Brady, I'm going to have you pull this up in a minute because you have access to a full demo account. But this is a tool that is only found on Chime. Now, I've used every CRM out there, and Brady's about to find out some information that he may beat me up later for. But Chime is the only one that actually has this. And for the record, before you're like, but you're like a Chime guy, you like wrote a book on Chime and all this stuff. Yeah, no. I almost switched to Real Geeks when I launched this business. Like, I was this close to switching to Real Geeks. And then I realized that with all the extra software I was going to need, I was actually going to be more expensive than I was paying with Chime. And so I actually switched back to Chime. So for the record, I almost switched away, and I realized I couldn't do it because they did not have, in fact, nobody else has the listing discovery tool. So what Brady has pulled up right now, and I'm trying to see, are there match leads in there? Oh, yes, score, there are. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about all this. So the listing discovery tool, what I want you to think of this as is a hot sheet. So all the new listings that come into your market, they're going to populate into the listing discovery tool. Now, if you look on the right-hand side there on that $988,000 listing, Brady's mouse is over number 10. So those are 10 matched buyers that he has in his database that match that specific listing. And you can see the criteria that he has going down this, 6 match factors all the way down. So those people have 6 matching factors on that new listing. Now, this is really, really critical, and I'll get to it in a minute why. But what I have found is, remember that I said I focus heavily on their search and making sure it's up to date, because this listing discovery tool is based off of their search. And so when we have these factors that all match together, I now can see that there are 10 leads that have factors matching to this property. So I'm going to load up all those new listings in the morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to each of these Donald Duck. I'm going to reach out to Donald Duck with a text that basically says something along the lines of, I was browsing through homes on the MLS that came up this morning. I saw this one, it made me think of you. What do you think? Do you want to go check it out? Or do you want a video tour? Now, here's why I'm doing this. This is what we call personalized service, right? So this gives the perception of personalized service while using an automated tool. So this differentiates me from Zillow and all the other agents in my marketplace, because it gives the impression I'm back there curating all these new properties for those leads, right? It feels like concierge level, but this is all mass done. So Brady could go select, let's say there's 20 people in there that all have the 5 matching factors or greater. He can select all of those, hit text. It'll send the exact same text template to all of them, but it will all come individual texts and it will all have their name in them. Exactly. That right there, that is like the best tool for following up with a lot of leads. So 621 leads, how do I follow up with that? I match them out on new listings, and then I go video tour the crap out of them. So once I run through the hot sheet, do you have anything in the opportunities tab? No, you don't have anything in the opportunities tab. Just click on it anyways and humor me. So the opportunities tab is the little computer with the $ on top of it. That is my other, sorry, I'm like jumping way ahead of you, dude.
Yeah. What, you lost me there. Where are we going?
Oh no, go exit out of this and click on the opportunities tab, the little computer with the $ in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Click on that for me. This is my other favorite tool. Okay, cool. There is stuff in here. So this is the other place, the second place that I spend pretty much all of my time. So this tab tells me what people are doing on my website, right? It tells me if they're looking at homes, if they're saving homes, if they're using the mortgage calculator. The opportunities are color coded. Blue is normal website activity. So you have one down there that they viewed a listing, right? Purple is off action from a third party connection. So if they like re-inquire on Zillow or whatever, that'll be purple. And then the colors that actually matter are yellow and green. Yellow is indicative of somebody doing something that Chime's AI has identified as taking action toward buying or selling, right? Pretty easy. You can use an example of viewing the same property 3 times. That's a solid reason to reach out to somebody and have a conversation. I try to schedule a tour on those. Green is money on the line. If you see a green opportunity in there, do it immediately. That lead is doing an activity that AI has recognized as taking the next step toward buying or selling. So sharing a property via text or email, requesting a showing, requesting a video tour, or requesting a home valuation. If this building that I'm in right now was on fire and I saw a green opportunity pop up, I would probably call that person on my way out of the building that was burning. I mean, that is how hot those leads are. So over the past 2 weeks, those are the only actions that I've taken with those leads that I got from that lender. That's it. Besides reaching out to them the first time, this is the only way that I've been reaching out and following up with them.
Brett, I was just going to say, so if I'm hearing you correctly, for us tuning into the webinar, right, it's a matter of connecting with your resources like a lender, right? It's procuring a list that you may not have access to yet. It's getting that list into a system like a Chime, right? And then what I really liked that you pointed out was doing something like filtering your new lead list, not by the last touch that includes your smart plans and your auto texts, right? But you want to filter out those automations to see the people that you haven't manually connected with, right?
That's correct.
Engaged with you with a phone call. Most importantly, maybe text as well if I'm hearing you right. But it sounds like you're a bigger fan of phone calls, which always work the best, right? But that's the steps of getting people into the database. Then once they're in the database, doing things like being aware of who your opportunities are, right? Using the listing discovery to text your listings to your leads. I'm just trying to sum up what you've covered.
Oh yeah, no, you're nailing it. You're doing good.
Those are the big pieces that you've used with this list of leads that you've received from the lender to pick up 60 showings you mentioned?
Yeah, it's like 57 showings. Yeah, we've been crushing it. At this point, I need to hire bodies badly. But the whole purpose of this webinar wasn't follow-up, right? I wanted to touch on that because it is important. What we're talking about here is creative ways to get leads. And so let's have a talk about that. People are hurting for leads right now. They want free leads. And I totally get that. So I'm going to start with one that gets you paid. How about we start there? So Uber and Lyft. So I know a lot of agents that are looking for a little bit of extra money right now. Uber and Lyft, go hang out by the airport. So the way that Uber used to work, I don't know if it still does, but the way it used to work is basically it would pick the driver that was closest to the person requesting a pickup, right? So go hang out like the airport cell phone lot and open your Uber app and start driving for Uber. Who are you going to get there? Usually it's people that don't have a car there that might be moving there. So in your route that you're taking them from the airport, have a talk with why they're in town. What are they doing there? Try to talk about the area as you're driving through it. People are like, man, you know this area pretty well. Yeah, so I actually do real estate in here, and I do Uber on the side every now and then when between showings and what have you. That's really easy, and you can pick up a lot of really good quality leads because you have their undivided attention for the entire ride. That's a really good time to be talking to people. So that's a good one, right? Door knocking. Door knocking is another one. And I see a lot of people that, man, they punch door knocking down. It is a really great lead source. Pick a community that you know something about. Print off a list of all the community events in the area, right? Staple a business card to that, and then go door to door. Let people know that you're a local real estate agent, that you're walking around to let everyone know about some great events happening in the community. That gets the conversation moving. And then ask them if you can send them information about their real estate investment. That's the key. So you're going door to door with people. You can word this differently, but you could say something along the lines of, a lot of people, a lot of my friends and my family and my clients asked me to help them track their real estate investment. You track your 401k, you track your stock portfolio, you track your bank account balance, but not a lot of people are tracking the equity that they have in their home and the
Well, I was going
value
to
of
say
what
that's another good
investment.
script.
What's
Instead of
that?
asking people if they want to know what their home is worth, ask them if they'd like to know how much equity they have in their home.
I like you.
Well,
That's
just
good,
because
man.
like now you're talking money. Okay, how
Yeah,
much would you make if you sold
right.
it? Not how much is it worth, because that doesn't mean shit,
That
right?
is that is valid. That is, use that. So go try to do that.
Yeah.
But that works, right? So I've had a lot of people that, so I have a group as well, and in my group I've talked about what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, and someone goes, well, dude, like, what if we don't have a lender that has 1,700 leads just sitting around? Find an agent in your area that generates a ton of leads and offer to work them for a referral.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that, yeah, you're going to be giving up a referral on it, but they generated the lead and they're probably not following up with it. So no, you're not going to get a full commission out of those leads, but most agents are terrible at following up with their leads. Offer to follow up with their old leads, and if you convert any, you're going to pay them a referral. Dude, if someone did that to me, I would take that so quickly, because I mean, yeah, I follow up well with leads, but my wife doesn't. So dude, she's totally watching this webinar. I'm in so much trouble. So anyways, yeah, if you're in Washington or California, just saying. All right, Reddit, believe it or not. So this is one of my favorites. Search for topics about real estate in your area. Respond with video, right? Put the video on your YouTube channel and link the video into your response on Reddit. So
Well, that's
make
a
sure
good
that
idea.
you each video, make sure you have a link back to your website. That's
Mm-hmm.
key. But soon you'll have a library of videos on various real estate questions that you've answered and a bunch of links back to your site. So you're going to come back as a trusted resource for real estate in your area. That works
By
very
the
well.
way, here's another piece of advice. If like you're a new agent or a newer agent and you haven't been asked a ton of questions over and over again, go to Chat GPT, because now it's connected to Bing, so
Yep.
it knows real-time information, and type in what are the most commonly asked questions that buyers and sellers have about real estate within the last 6 months. Give me 10 of them, and then you make videos answering all 10 of those questions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect. That's
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. Video is not scary, guys. Just do it. If I can get on video, you can get on video. Believe it or not, Facebook. So if you don't have to spend money to generate leads on Facebook. Go join local Facebook groups and be the source of information on the real estate market. Like Reddit, make videos, or use ChatGPT to make videos responding to real estate questions. Right? Put that video again, put it on your YouTube channel, and do the same thing that you're going to do on Reddit, but do it on Facebook in the Facebook groups. And it's going to put you out to be a trusted resource. So, and then finally, my favorite one that I personally have used a lot, restaurants and bars. So if you have local restaurants, which, I mean, we go out to dinner a lot, so we have our local restaurants that we go to, and basically, if you walk in and it reminds you of Cheers, like, you go there a lot, let the servers know, servers and bartenders, let them know that you are in real estate, and make sure they know that, and give them a stack of your business cards and have them hand your card out, because especially if it's at a restaurant where people are new in town going to, that's a really easy way to get business. Bartenders and servers hear people talking about real estate all the time. So,
Brett, with the topic of the bars and restaurants, right? That's one of the things that I always allude to with folks that are wondering what kind of content they can add to their website. How can they draw in more traffic? How can they help with search engine optimization, right?
yeah,
Since Chime integrated with ChatGPT, we get to tell folks now that you don't have to come up with the 5 favorite restaurants in a particular neighborhood. Let ChatGPT create that content for you, right?
That's
There's no
awesome.
reason why you
right.
shouldn't have the 5 best restaurants, the 5 best coffee shops, the 5 best cleaners for your clothes, right? If you're doing business in a particular area, right?
I have a question for you.
Post it on your site.
Brady, I have a question for you. I know that for a while there, Chime was talking about an AI like content generator. Did that launch?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So on Chime now, you can use it. It's integrated, so you can use ChatGPT to basically help you create content.
Bingo. You can create social media posts using our ChatGPT integration. You can have ChatGPT write blogs for you, right? Like, what are the 5 best coffee shops in downtown Scottsdale, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it
so
all.
I was sending a text to a client through the Chime app the other day, and it like tried to do like a magic writer for me. Yep. And I was like, what is happening right now? Why is it? Then I clicked on it, and it wrote out a text for me. And I was like, shit, that's better than what I was going to write. That is some cool technology, my friend. That is some cool technology. And I think, I like writing my own content, but let's just be real here. Sometimes I get writer's block. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. But it makes it really easy for agents now to create a bunch of content, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or if ChatGPT is not going to create it for you, why don't you pull in something relevant and genuine to your leads, something like their home equity, right? I know, Brett, you and I have talked about using a tool like a home report in Chime, or a home snap as a third-party tool, right? These are tools that you can have that'll automate the value, not just the value of the home, but the equity that somebody has in their property, right?
You bring up the home report. So it's funny because I started using the home report, and actually this ties into, Nick, what you were just talking about the equity in your home. Dude, that home report, I put, so the potential sellers that I've got that are all lining up, the people basically that came in through that list that had identified that they also had a house to sell, I dropped them on a home report. Yeah, and what I have found out of that, oh yes, you have a copy of it. Awesome. So this right here, this is probably, in my opinion, possibly my favorite tool, if not my second favorite tool of Chime, where it tracks, basically, it keeps people up to date on their real estate investment. And then toward the bottom, it shows your estimated home equity. It is the coolest thing ever. All of my potential sellers are on that. You know what? And I see a lot. I know a lot of people that will say, okay, well, there's HomeBot out there that does this. Here's the cool part. You do not have to have a lender with this. You can, right? You can have a lender cost share on this one.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. But it's all in one place. So I don't have to have another software doing that. I don't have to have a lender that is gonna have to contribute for that. I can just do all of that on my own, or I can have a lender contribute as well. But this, even if it doesn't come off as 100% accurate, what I've found is I actually like the ones that don't come across as 100% accurate, because right at the top, go all the way to the top. Usually it shows like a button where it'll basically say like, want a professional opinion or want a professional report.
Probably because it's my demo account, not
on your demo account. That's why. On mine, it'll show, do you want a professional opinion? And I get a lot of people that'll click that because this is public data and they want a professional one. And that's my chance now to send them a really nice CMA and a really nicely put together CMA, which of course I use Chime for as well. So used to use Cloud CMA, and then you guys rolled out your version, and I can customize it to match like my branding and everything like that. And it looks really clean. So big fan. I'm trying to think. I had questions for you too. Okay, Social Studio. I wanted to talk to you about that. Okay, so talk to me about Social Studio, because I'm busy, right? I'm a busy agent. Yeah, I'm launching my team. Yes, I have a client care coordinator and a media coordinator. But here's the thing. We all get busy. They get busy. They have a lot of content. How does an agent use the Social Studio? Because that is something I'm looking into.
Sure. Yeah. I think social media is a place to find free leads, right? Organic lead generation, free advertising, free leads. I mean, that is such a powerful resource. And there's so many different styles of social media, right? There's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's LinkedIn, there's Google My Business, there's your YouTube page, there's Facebook, right? The list goes on and on.
It's overwhelming.
it's difficult to manage all those things and still run a
Yeah.
successful real estate business, right? You don't want to spend hours a day updating your social media content. And that's where a Chime powered social studio can help buy your time back, right? So what we do and what a lot of these systems are doing are connecting to your social media profiles to give you the ability to create a post in one location. And I'll just show you what I mean by this as we're navigating
Awesome.
through. But you're creating a post in one location, and then you are, get this pulled up here, you're coming into your campaign planner in a Chime. You're using our social studio to then create a post of your choosing. You can create a listing post. You can write a blog or have our ChatGPT integration write a blog for you, create a landing page, a squeeze page, or even a custom post from scratch. But we'll just use a listing example here, right? When you put a new listing into the MLS, you can use that momentum to generate more new organic leads by creating a post about that property that'll automatically be
Are we supposed to be
blasted
seeing
out.
something? Because we don't see anything.
Oh yeah, your screen isn't sharing, dude.
Let's go ahead and make sure that that is sharing.
It just said
Stop
it just said
share.
screen sharing, but
I remember my first day on Zoom too.
Yeah. How about now? Are we getting anything?
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
Perfect. So I was just pointing out that when you get into Chime, right, you can do your campaign planning within Chime, and campaigning is lead generation, organic and paid advertising, right? Two sides of the same coin. It's about how to get you more business. This would be an example of organic lead generation, free advertising, where you can create a post of one of your listings or a listing in your brokerage, and then have that post that you're building in one location go out automatically across your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram, your Google My Business, right? All those different social media platforms. So
That's awesome.
This is one of the ways, and I'm Brett, I know that you use this to create one post in one location and then have that automatically turn into 6 different posts across 6 different social media channels.
The thing that I like about this is this completely replaces Hootsuite. So I was a big proponent of Hootsuite for years, and this replaces Hootsuite.
Yep.
Which is also, keeping everything in one is so clean. That's awesome.
And also having the peace of mind of knowing as your listings move through the stages in your MLS, when it goes from pending to under contract or pricing change to under contract, right? Some of those changes, our systems will track those changes and automatically update your social media posts for you.
Yeah, that's a huge.
You don't have to worry about something sitting there for too long that isn't true based on where it is in the MLS.
I had no idea it could do that.
So like if something goes under contract, it'll notify you, or it'll change the ad for you, or notify
it'll automatically change the posts across your Facebook, Google My Business, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube pages. Yes. So that's where we really want to be a replacement for a third-party system like a Hootsuite, and give you the peace of mind of just focusing on your business and not having to scramble to update your social platforms every time a listing changes status in your MLS.
So when you ask me later, like, hey Brett, what are you doing the rest of the day? And I'm gonna be diving in on this. Because I knew that like the tip of the iceberg with this. I didn't realize that it did all of this. So that's actually really rad.
And add in a listing video, right? Update your listing videos across all of your social media from one specific place, right? But that's the Social Studio Pro that we provide. It automatically updates your social media platforms for you with the changes that are happening with your listings. So outsource the management of that, right? You don't need.
So Brady, we've got people in the questions asking, how the heck do I set this up and who do I contact?
Hey, I know a guy that looks for Chime over here.
Actually, Brady is the person you need to talk to.
They're like, shut up and take my money already.
Right. Actually, before we go any further with Brady, can you please add Social Studio to my account?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Let's make it easier to manage all the and you're so active on social media, Brett. This is a no-brainer for you. But yeah, guys, if you have questions, if you want to connect to learn more about the product, learn more about what we've talked about today, you can reach me. My email is Brady, BRADY @Chime.
I just want to say one quick thing because there's a couple questions about this.
I'll post this too.
Facebook doesn't allow scheduling on personal pages. Okay. It allows it on business pages because Facebook is a social network. It's not a business network. Your business page is for that. Your personal page is for personal. That's why you can't. They want your posts to be organic. So people were asking, why doesn't it do both? It's not that it doesn't do both. It's just Facebook doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
So
that is cool. Nick got all those. Awesome. I'm just looking at
yeah.
all the chat. I've just opened the chat.
Yeah.
So on top of
But
that, I mentioned
someone's asking, so can it post to Instagram? Can you do
Yes.
that?
yeah.
Okay, so Gordon in the Q&A, it can post to Facebook pages and Instagram, but your Instagram page has to be a business account in order for it to be auto posting. If you have it set as a personal account, then you can't. So you got to go into settings and change it to business.
Yeah.
Another tip right there.
I just posted in the chat. So I talked about earlier the 12 days of Chime thing. I have so much curated content that I'm trying to send everybody for free. So I put that link in there. It's 12daysofchime.com. I've got smart plans in there, best texts in there. I've got best practices in there, how to use it, that kind of stuff. I have all of that for free. You guys can have fun with that. What I want to say before you go any further with this is, and at least this is my part of it. There's a lot of negative crap going on right now. Lots of noise, lots of distractions. You can either sit back and become the next Chicken Little, complaining about the sky falling, or you can get up and take action. Over the last few months, I've had more agents, more of my past coaching clients, agents in other markets. They've reached out to me to tell me how much of an idiot I am for launching a real estate team in the worst possible time in the year. Like November is like the worst time to start a team. In going into what they consider the worst possible market they've seen. And I've been given so much crap for shutting down my coaching company so I could get back and help more residential real estate clients. But for me, these tough times are what make real estate interesting. It makes it fun. These are the times to prove your value to your clients and build long-term business. So that's my thing is you can either sit back now and kind of take a back seat and just let business happen around you, or you can dive into your database and keep your head down and ignore a lot of noise.
Well, here's what
That's
agents do where they mess up. Well, there's a lot of things they do where they mess up, but this specifically where they mess up is they project their own feelings about what's going on in the world around them onto how they think other people are thinking. So like I'll use COVID for an example. Oh, I can't reach out to my database. It's COVID and it's inappropriate. Meanwhile, 2021 was like the largest housing boom we've seen in the last 10 years. Whereas now with everything going on, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, people are very upset and they're feeling emotional, but that doesn't mean they don't want to transact. That doesn't mean they don't want. So while other agents are saying this isn't appropriate, guess what? Let them say that because you're going to get the business. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't project the way you're feeling onto other people, the way you think they might be feeling, because usually you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard sometimes for a lot of people to keep business and personal separate. For a lot of people, business is very personal. For a lot of people, personal stuff is business, right?
But if someone needs to buy or sell, they need to buy or sell.
Exactly. I mean, people are still moving.
Yeah.
Evidently, people are still moving. So it's one of those things. If you're trying to constrain your budget a little bit, totally get it. That it's a good time to do so. Just if you're looking for free leads, I covered a bunch of those. I also have a YouTube video on it as well. For those that do the 12 days of Chime thing, I actually include a link to that so you can rewatch that. But I think it's a good time. I think it's a good time right now to put your head down, call your leads, call your database, reach out to your sphere. That's where I would start. That's what I did. So, yeah.
Someone's saying that they signed up. And
yeah. So it's going to drip to you for 12 days. You're getting 12 days of content.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm going to sign up.
Yeah. So it keeps you on track and it keeps you going for 12 days to move forward with your business. That is what I'm trying to do.
You don't have to log into anything.
Nope. You name an email and it'll start dripping to you tomorrow. And if you have questions, that actually comes right back to me. If you have any questions on those things, hit respond. It's gonna come right back to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, Brady, you want to drop your contact information in the chat because people are asking for it.
I definitely do. Let's see if I can get
Yeah. He's a pretty good one to email.
Nice. Nice. Any final thoughts or questions, guys, or anyone in the chat, or you guys on the Zoom with me?
I would just say if you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, Brett is always eager to connect with folks. I love chatting about real estate, talking tips and tricks. So I'm a email, phone call, text message away. Chime does have a promotion available, and it encapsulates a lot of the things that we've touched on during our time together today. We have a bundle that includes the premium AI assistant. We have the CMA tool. We have the Social Studio Pro, which is that social media auto updater, as well as those home reports that include the home equity, right? We have those four pieces bundled together with an exclusive price of $99 per month for folks. Retails $200 a month for those bundles if you buy them all a la carte. So if you guys have any interest in learning more about those, please go to chime.me, email me, let's connect for a demo, and let's show you how we can generate more leads and convert those leads more effectively.
There's a lot of questions about Chime specifically, but what I would say is call Brady.
Right.
If you want someone that actually knows how to use the platform, call Brady. I'm not kidding.
The CRM is included in it, right? It's CRM.
Right. Correct.
Someone wants to know, does all these tools work in Mexico? Because they're a new Chime agent in Mexico.
We do have plenty of clients in Mexico, as a matter of fact, so we should connect. I'd love to learn where you live and if we're connected with your MLS yet.
So you sign up for the 12 days of Chime by putting your name and your email address right here on this page, and that's it. And then you'll start getting dripped on.
Yep. And it's just so everybody knows, it's more than 12 days.
Oh, cool.
just tell you, I may have added a lot more content. I was like, well, crap, I already own 12 days at chime.com. Like, I'll just give more content. so it's closer to 17 days.
Does Chime translate into Spanish? Can you get a Spanish Chime?
Yeah. We the websites do. We can use a translating widget. The CRM is currently only in English. So that's a back end.
Okay, but I think if you have the CRM open on Chrome and you have a Google Translator, it should convert automatically, even the CRM, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Reach out to Brady. Someone wants to know, Brett, if you do private training, but you just said you closed your company down.
Yeah, used to do a lot of it, but
just missed it.
With the amount of showings and the amount of business I'm doing right now, that's on the back burner for a while, guys.
Love it. Awesome. So thank you so much. And guys, don't put your emails in the chat because you got to go to this website that I just posted, 12daysoftrying.com. Yep. We're not going to take your email and enter it for you. Just go to that link, enter your name and email, done. It's 3 clicks. So thanks, everyone. Appreciate you. Guys. Have a great day.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah.